May. Happy new calendar year. This is going to be the first video of the year, and I just wanted to say that for those of you who follow the Julian calendar still, and I'll say Happy New Year to those of you who don't in April or March. But yeah, Happy New Year. I hope everybody's winter festivities were good. I lucked out with mine. Sorry. I lucked out with mine because she's still here. And that to me is amazing. And that was my only Christmas present that I wanted, and I got it. So I'm going to keep her in the shop for the rest of the video because she's a calming, soothing factor, I believe anyway. So in addition to that, I want to preface again that to those of you who follow Islam peacefully and do not take the bullshit that is perverted and made into hate seriously, this is not about you. Because I get it now. I get it. Basically, not basically, intuitively, definitely, I got it. I finally figured out the anger coming from the community, and it's because in comparison to the other two Abrahamic religions, I think Islam is the youngest. We were taught as Catholics when I was growing up that Islam originated from Abraham's second son, or first son, born to him by Hagar, and when they were tossed to the road because Sarai had a fit, that apparently created Islam. That's what we were taught. I'm not saying obviously it's incorrect. Obviously it's a Catholic perspective. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that's what I was taught in Catholic school. So I know that's not true, obviously. It's obviously way more complicated than that. But I have this feeling that it's the youngest. And as such, if you look back on history, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we are seeing today that a lot of people of other religions did back when their religions were young too. This is not excusing the extremist murders and behavior, obviously, but in a way, it does kind of bring a small inch of clarity to it. Another thing that I realized today when they were talking about, unfortunately, the massacre in France. I can't talk about it too much; it gets me upset. Apparently, the murderers were abused children and brought up in France, and they turned to Islam because they were abused. And I'm not saying, again, that's not excusing their behavior. They're assholes. They killed people, okay? But I kind of got it. If you saw my atheism video, I mentioned that I was bullied and that religion helped me feel special. What if that's what's happening with Islam now? It is one of the newer religions. It's got a lot of fire. It's got a lot of passion. What if that's, like, I've noticed that they're getting younger and younger, the people who are committing these acts. And I'm just wondering, is this, like, no better than army tactics and, like, in a way to recruit the people that you want? Like, religion is very touchy because people can't explain how they feel the way they feel when it comes to God and things like that. For a believer, they can't explain it. For an unbeliever, we can't understand it because it's just something that they just don't connect. We try, but it's either one is too close-minded or one is too deluded. There's no winning. And I'm just wondering if that's the problem. If that's the problem, that obviously the system failed these kids. And again, I'm not excusing their acts, their heinous acts, and I want them to get justice. But it is interesting if you think about it, because it's scary to me seeing, like, it's very small, but seeing something in these killers that I kind of had an abused childhood, sort of. Lucky for me, I had loving parents, but I certainly didn't have a loving schooling. And when I was a kid, I really turned to magic. And I'm wondering if, because Islam is so young and it's just so in your face, the extreme kind, it attracts them. And what made the penny drop for me was what was my thoughts. They're just getting out the rough shit. And I'm not excusing it. I think there shouldn't be any rough shit. I think a modern religion should in no way include violence. And it just goes to show you how dated these religions are, that they find that even in this day and age, this kind of shit is absolutely acceptable. And then I look at Muslims all around me who are afraid because they are Muslim, and they are no more extreme than any of the kind Christians that actually do good stuff, you know? They're afraid because these extremists are putting a brown face to evil, and that's just not fair. There's just, I get it. Like, I get why they say racism. I get why they say it, but I don't, even though I get it, I don't really agree with it because I don't think it's the answer. I don't think, like, the young always have their, like, oh, I keep saying like damn Valley Girl. The young always have ways of rebelling. They always have all this passion, all these hormones, and they need outlets. And Islam needs a new one. All religions need a new one. Like, definitely Christianity and the like peaceful religions all have their skeletons. Even Buddhism. Okay, I am well aware that Buddhism is fucked if it's steeped in Sky Daddy. If it's a philosophy, it's perfect. It's almost perfect. Almost. But as a religion, you're setting yourself on fire, putting on guns and shooting other people because they don't believe in in the same religion, even though Siddhartha was obviously not a god. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I get it. It is absolutely embarrassing. And we have to remember why it's embarrassing. We have to keep that in our minds when things like this happen. Well, why were they angry? Why are people brought up as Muslims in a secular society being targeted for something that they didn't even do? Why are we still doing this to each other? All over this one thing that none of us can really 100% have in common, because spirituality is something that is so different for every single fucking person. We can have similar philosophies and viewpoints and so on. Like, they can be similar, and that's why we have religions, but every single person is different. Even in the atheism community, we have divisions, even though we all agree that religion should be gone, should be out of the public eye, in my opinion. See, in my opinion. And it's really frustrating for me because I postulate these problems and I can't think of solutions. And it frustrates me because I want to be able to think of solutions, because I don't want to leave this world in a worse shape than when I came into it. Right now, it's in a worse shape than when I came into it. And a mere 30 years shouldn't do that. I just want everybody to keep this in mind when they see somebody of a religious minority, especially Muslims. Like, I call them secular Muslims because it's not exactly an accurate term, but these are good people that just happen to follow an outdated religion, much like good Christians. And it's not a contradiction. It's not. Because my mother is one of the most incredible, nice, selfless people that I've ever met. And she is a Catholic. But she is to Catholics, she is not a Catholic. But she is. She knows the Bible better than them. And she still believes it. Like, she can come to terms with it. And she still believes in God. She just believes in her God. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that theists put it out there in tongue-in-cheek that atheists worship themselves. But really, what the hell are you guys doing? Because you have to admit it. If your God hasn't shown up in all these years, he's not coming back. And who are you worshiping then? You're worshiping your conscience. that little factory in your body, in your brain, that tells you what is good and what is bad based on instincts and how people react around you. It's not religion. It's common sense. I was going to say created. I'm not going to lie. I was going to say created because I want this video to address, I want both atheists and theists to see it. So we were developed with those kind of instincts, be it through evolution or through being poked by God. I don't know. I don't care. But we all have it, and we all have a different one. And it's just, you're putting clothes on it differently. And it just fucking frustrates me when this group mentality just runs rampant and destroys lives for something that is so personal and private anyway. You're never going to agree. Never. So why are you fighting? Another thing I wanted to mention was, in terms of of Christians being, sorry, let me backtrack. There was a post on Google Plus the other day that if you don't follow me on Google Plus, that's fine. It was just basically this mother posting, a Christian mother, basically posting this contradictory statement about somebody who was homosexual who came out to her. And it fucking pissed me off because she's like, oh, I still love you, but I just condemn you. That's not love, you fucking idiot. Anyway, it just made, but reading her comments and trying to come to terms with them, I couldn't do because my own mother who had me baptized, who took me to Catholic school, who tried very hard to make me believe in God, also accepted my atheism with kind of in a back look. But she was fine with it. And another thing that's important that I have to mention is that when I came out to her, you know what she said to me? I said, Mom, I think I like men and women. And she said to me, great. This is the one time that I'll be able, that I can finally have a daughter-in-law. That I will bring her home a good wife. And sorry, and I realize that there are so many people that don't get that gift. And they kill themselves because of these stupid, ignorant assholes that are supposed to love them. And you don't see what's wrong with that. The difference between my mother and these extremists. And what the fuck is wrong with you?